Hello, this is DrSayus, and today I am reviewing Pokémon Uranium. Before I do the review, if you plan on playing this game, wait until the end of the video where I show you how to change the PC settings to fix the frame rate issue that you'll get if you download it. Pokemon Uranium is a fan-made game that looks like it could have been made by Nintendo back in the GBA era, as it was made in RPG Maker XP engine, which if you can't already tell with XP in the name is a very old engine. I found the whole package was mostly inspired by Gold, Silver and Crystal from the Game Boy Color. This ranged from the music to the different locations. It has aspects of the other titles as well. Like from Gen 5, TMs never run out. There seems to be more here than usual. HMs unfortunately are here too, but by the end game you don't really need them. Also, the XP share item doesn't distribute points to your party like in newer games. It just divides the points between the holder and whoever was in the battle like in the older games. This means the game isn't too easy, but it doesn't encourage trying different Pokemon outside your team unless you want to grind a lot. Your character can be male, female or anything in between. I'm not going to get into that debate, but no matter what you pick, everyone refers to you as they, which is pretty awkward. I guess it saves time changing the pronouns for each gender through the mountains of dialogue. I know I certainly wouldn't want to do it. Our story begins with your mother, who is the lead scientist, dies trying to stop a nuclear reactor going off. Your dad, the Pokemon Ranger, turns cold and sends you to live with your old aunt. It's pretty dark. Your rival is a bratty 11-year-old as opposed to the teen-like 10-year-olds that we have come to expect. His character develops later in the story, but I'd rather be chasing a strong rival, not having one trail my coattails. Gameplay is run-of-the-mill. Help Professor Bumbo
completing the Pokédex!
Choose from fire, water, or grass starters, collect 8 badges, win the Pokemon League and catch legendary Pokemon. Victory Road was more difficult than the league itself, which was disappointing. I want to see a game where the Pokemon League is a giant tournament full of rivals, just like in the anime. Unlike Game Freak, a lot of Pokemon fan games like this include multiple game saves, showing it is possible by people who make the games for free. Meanwhile, greedy Nintendo wants people to buy another full-priced game just to have the luxury of another save file. What's worse is these games literally never decrease in price. You can also start a new game with different rules, like having a randomizer or Nuzlocke challenge. It would have benefited if the player to skip the heavy dialogue of this game when trying these challenges, since most likely they have already completed the game, but at least it's there. I know that would have encouraged me to try the Nuzlocke. Some side quests happen post-game, some were never finished. After winning the Pokemon League, there's a note on the table which asks you to help fight off pirates, which was never implemented. There's supposed to be missions from the Rangers you can go on, but they weren't implemented either. Finally, there's a sleeping girl you're supposed to wake up, but you're not able to. This is all very depressing, considering that in the game, they really encourage you to go after these objectives, which do not exist, meaning that there's not much of a post game. There's no battle tower at the end game either, though it wasn't promised. It's been in a lot of Pokemon games, so I would have liked to see it here, but the game's free, so take it as it is. It would have really improved replayability. In fact, there's not much to do post game since a lot of their plans for this were scrapped. The game cuts out a lot of bloat from the series, like contests and secret bases. Whether that's good or bad is up to you. Only a few real Pokemon have been included. I'm surprised the developer took that gamble, seeing as there's 150 new Pokemons, which was enough for Pokemon Black and White, which was shit. They introduced a new Pokemon type which is gimmicky, but it doesn't ruin the game, and it's not forced upon you. The Pokemon designs are leagues better than in most games, even putting a spin on some official ones, like a dark version of Mareep was an interesting choice. I refused the urge to Google the Pokédex for this region, which would include the Pokemon, their stats and their moves, as I wanted it to be a fresh experience. This game offers an even spread of each type of Pokemon, which the official series rarely seems to get right for some reason. Their battling abilities also seem more balanced. Obviously some are clearly better than others, but it doesn't feel like you chose wrong if you have Pokemon that aren't in the high tier. There's humor in the NPC banter and story that couldn't be in the mainstream games for obvious reasons, which are mundane by comparison. Those kids and their video games. Back when I was a kid we played outside the dirt, and we liked it. I refuse to perpetrate the stereotype that lumberjacks engage in cross-dressing. As this is quite an ambitious game designed by fans, it's going to have its problems, though not as many as what you would expect. Aside from needing the fixes I mentioned, there are other technical problems which couldn't be fixed. Sound effects for capturing Pokemon and healing Pokemon in a Pokemon Center are louder than what they should be. In the 7th gym, I had to change the frames per second to 40 to slow things down when traversing the dark floor trail, and it still took ages to get past. Mega Evolution is unlocked after the 7th gym. It says activate with Z, but this really just means your run button. I'm not a fan of powering up already strong Pokemon, but at least you can turn the animation off. Also, you can only use one Mega Evolution per battle. The frame rate bombs hard in the final gym. It must be due to the puzzle they put in it, which was quite easy, by the way. Here I had to fight 2 leaders at once, whose Pokemon were 10 levels higher than mine. It was definitely the hardest part of the game for me. Bizarrely, you can't fly from east and west Tander. Tander's the name of the region, by the way, since the map splits into 2. Instead, you have to pay to travel by boat. It's a minor inconvenience, but the game seems so polished and surprised you can't do this. Online multiplayer allows you to battle, trade, and wonder trade. I tried this after completing the main story and couldn't find anyone to battle online. I don't know if it's because of a low player base or the servers are no longer supported. However, you can create a virtual trainer and battle other players' virtual trainers instantly without lag. Despite these problems, I was able to trade a Pokemon with my brother on his version of the game. I wasn't able to battle because he gave up on the game about 3 badges in. He said there wasn't enough real Pokemon in it. I can see that turning some people off. 99% of the designs in this game are pretty good, so it didn't bother me. An NPC explains Pokemon in online battles are capped at level 50. However, in Virtual Trainer they are uncapped, which is a shame. When you battle trainers Pokemon, they're roughly around your level. I would give this game an S rank if you get it running as well as I did. If you can't, knock a grade off it. It's one of my favorite Pokemon games and definitely worth playing for the new story, locations, and Pokemon. Thanks for watching. As I promised near the end of the video, here are a number of fixes you can do to improve performance. Make sure to download the latest version. At the time of this video is 1.2.4. Seeing as at the time of this video this update was released 2 years ago, I'd be surprised if there's any more updates. If you play this game as is, you'll notice it chugs more than a fat guy slurping a McDonald's milkshake. It took me a lot of research to find out how people fixed this. A lot of information out there is outdated since most of it refers to older builds of the game. With that said, the fixes I'll show you should apply to any version as they're quite broad. First, type in power in Windows search bar, click power and sleep settings and choose high performance. If this option isn't shown, there should be an option to create this plan, which should only take a minute to do. Before opening the game, go to the folder it's installed in. For me, it's C/program files 86/Pokémon Uranium. Double click the patcher.exe file to fix the performance. This will perform a game update. Before opening the game, right click on uranium.exe, click properties followed by the compatibility tab. Tick the compatibility mode box and make sure it is set to Windows XP Service Pack 2. Tick run in 640 by 480 screen resolution and reduced color mode 8-bit 256 color. This will also improve performance of the game without changing how it looks. The only downside is if your PC has the activate Windows watermark like mine, it'll make the watermark look bigger. Also, if you're recording, it'll make the gameplay appear a lot smaller in the recording. If this bothers you, go back to properties, untick screen resolution and reboot the game. Even if all these changes, you'll still notice a bit of slowdown in some open areas, but it's certainly manageable. If you need to make further performance improvements in the game options, you can lower the FPS, which is frames per second. This will make the game slower. Put on performance mode and change the screen resolution to full screen to large. If you need to make further performance improvements in the game options, you can lower the FPS, which is frames per second. This will make the game slower. Then put on performance mode in the game options and change change the screen resolution from full screen to large. Make sure not to have a distracting desktop background while you're not in full screen. I have a black background myself. You can also press F1 on the keyboard in game to turn off options under the general tab, though seeing as this game was designed using a Windows XP game engine, you probably don't need to do this. There's also a tab for the gamepad, but I couldn't get my controller to work for the game or any other games made in RPG Maker. Luckily it's a turn-based RPG with simple controls, so it really doesn't matter. Hello guys, hope you're having a fantastic day. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and to subscribe for more videos. Bye!